Hey guys, we're doing 2.3 today, simplifying variable expressions. So you might have heard it called combining like terms. So we're going to talk about what are like terms and how do you combine them and so on and so on. So when you are looking at this expression right here, there's a few things you need to know. All right? So the numbers that are in front of the variables, these three right here, these are called coefficients. I had to look at my notes there for a minute. Coefficients. That's an I right there. Coefficient. Okay, the numbers in front of the variables are called coefficients. We know these already are called variables. Whoop. And the number that's all by itself right here, that's called a constant. Because it's always going to be 7 or -7, no matter what, where this value will change depending on what the variables are. Alrighty. These are called terms. Each one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are called terms. Alright, there's 4 terms in this expression. Okay, so you need to know coefficients, so I might say name the coefficients, or I might say name the variables. So I'm probably not going to ask you the definition of a coefficient, but I'm going to have you pick them out. So you have to know what a coefficient is, what a variable is, and what constants and terms are. Alright, we are only going to combine like terms. So let me pick a different color here. So if when we look at this, we have 7a, 3b, and 4a, and 7. So when it talks about like terms, that means they have to be similar. That means the variable has to be the same. Okay, so our like terms here are 7a and 4a. Those are our like terms. Nothing else can be combined. Okay, so if you have 7a and 4a, then you're going to have 11a. But you can't combine anything else. Everything else has to stay the same. Okay? Moving on. Maybe. Okay, so we're just asking today, are they like terms? Okay, so let's see if they're like terms, and if they are, let's combine them. If not, then we won't. Okay, so we have 2a plus 6a. Are those like terms? Yes. And that's going to give you 8a. A and 7a, remember what's always in front of a variable that's by itself? A 1. Okay, because this is actually saying that there are 7 a's there. This is saying there's 1a. Okay, so yes, they're like terms, and it is also 8a. Moving on, 2b and 3a, can we combine those to get 5ba? No. You can't combine those. You would just leave it just like that. You just don't even touch it. What about 9 and 5? Okay, if you have constants, you add your constants together just like a normal problem. So yes, and it would be 14. You just add them together. Okay, what about here? We have 2z, 4x, and 7y. Are any of those similar? Are any of them like terms? No. Okay? So we cannot add those together. Okay. Simplify by combining like terms. So now we're going to simplify a little more, okay? So we have to look. The easiest thing I have found is to circle, underline, because sometimes I might give you a problem that's as long as the page. Okay, you have to keep them straight. So if I have 3a, I have to look. What else is a like term? Well, I have 3a, and you always want to circle whatever sign is in front of it. So this one, it's just a positive. 4a. So 3a plus 4a is going to give us 7a. And then we have a constant of +2 and a constant of -1. So you can either think 2 minus 1, or you can think 2 plus a -1. Remember that? So that's going to be, it's just going to give you 1. So 2a plus 1. If it was if your answer had been -1, you could have put 7a minus 1. All right, so you're done with that problem. Number 2, we have -4a minus 9m. Are they similar? No. So we're just done. There's nothing to do. You can't combine them. You're done with that problem. Moving on to 3. We have p, we have 6p, and we have minus 4p. Okay, so remember there's really a 1 in front of here. So we have positive 1 plus 6, so that's going to give us 7p minus 4p. So your answer is going to be 3p. C3PO. Okay, so 3p. Moving on, so over here we have 6y and -7y, or you can think, you could even write it off to the side if you wanted. 6y minus 7y. Okay, or you can think 6y plus a -7y. However you want to think about it, our signs are different. We take this, we subtract and take the sign to the larger number, so that's going to give you a -1y, or you could just have -y. Then we have 4m plus m. Is that a plus m? I can't even read mine anymore. I think it is, yeah. So you're going to have plus 5m. Alrighty? If you just have -y plus 5m, that's the same thing. You could even have 5m first, 5m minus y. Does not matter as long as you keep the signs the same. Okay, moving on. These are a little harder. Okay, these are a little harder, so let's see. We have to do the distributive property first. You always distribute first. So we're not doing anything with this 4g yet. We're going to take this 3. Remember our distributive property? So we have 4g plus 3 times 3 is 9, plus 3 times g is 3g. Now we're going to combine our like terms. 4g plus 3g, 7g plus 9. There's nothing to add that 9 onto. Alrighty? So coming over here, again, we have to distribute first. But you have to remember that that negative is going to go with it, or that minus, however you want to think about it. So 4x plus 3, because remember this could also be plus a negative. So -2 times 5 is -10 or minus 10, however you want to look at it. Plus a -10 or minus 10. -2 times x is -2x, or plus, it's either minus a 2x or plus a -2x. Remember, that's the same thing. Okay, don't get confused. Just go with whatever is easiest for you to remember. You and your neighbor might remember it differently. Okay, so now we combine like terms. I just start from left to right. We have 4x here. We have minus 2x here, so that's going to give us 2x. Then we have 3 minus 10. So remember, 3 plus a -10. We have our signs are different. We subtract and take the sign of the larger number. So -7 or minus 7. You can put plus a negative if you want, but you're going to mostly see it 2x minus 7. Alright, moving on. I put a little bit more difficult one here. Okay, so let me change back to blue here. So again, we have to distribute, and we kind of got to go backwards here. So 3 times 2t is 6t, plus 3 times 4 is 12, and then we come over here. We have our plus sign. This is just a multiplication problem. 6 times -5, which is really negative 30t, so it could just be minus 30t. And then remember this cha-ching, we can just make that a plus 8. Okay, as we look, let's change to a red here. Let's look at our like terms. 6t plus a negative 30t or 6t minus 30t, however you want to think about it. Our signs are different, so we subtract and take the sign to the larger number. So we know it's going to be negative, and 30 minus 6 is going to give us 24t, and then we have 12 plus 8, so plus 20. That's a pretty hard one. That has a lot of steps. Alrighty. Okay, so on this one, we're going to name the coefficients. This is our last one. Like terms and constants. Okay, so you could put a coefficient if you want. So remember, coefficients are what's in front of the variables. So you would just say 4, 6, and 7 are my coefficients. My like terms, LT, are 4a and 7a. 4a, and yes, you have to put the a's in there. And then our constant, so you could put con if you wanted to, is going to be the negative 3. Take that negative. Remember, this is really plus a negative. It's going to be a negative 3 there. Okay? And that is it.